Argon crystals are one of the trickiest things to farm for in Warframe, not just because they're rare to get, but they have a 24-hour decay rate, which means you can only have Argon crystals for a full day. This is very tricky for some things that you're trying to farm for, which is why there are some things that you have to do to prepare to farm Argon crystals. The first thing I will describe before going into all the missions that you need to do is to whatever you're farming for, whatever it is, if that's a Warframe part or a weapon, farm the other things first. Nothing else in this game that I know of decays like Argon crystals do. So if you have, like I am farming for right now, was a Nidus Neuroptics, everything else farm for, I think is Polymer Bundle, something else, maybe Rubio, something like that. Those are the first things you need to farm for. Argon crystals have to and should be the last thing you ever farm for because of the decay rate. Now going into the first mission, first one we're going to look at is the capture mission called Yuko on Void. These are all going to be on Void, so there's no other planet that you need to pay attention to. Yuko, like I just mentioned, is a capture mission, so it's a very quick and easy mission. The main thing you have to do in this one is kill enemies on your way and try to go and look in these other little areas in the map to then try to find these little Argon crystal shapes or loot things. They're called something. I don't want to try to sound it out, but it's a little thing like morphed crystal really that holds more crystals in itself, and this is going to be a theme with all three of these missions. With the capture mission, you're really going to want to look at this. Now, I played 3 capture missions before this recording, or actually during this recording, before this voiceover, and in the first one, I had 3 from all these Argon things and 0 from enemies. 0 from enemies is a theme with all 3 of the missions, so you're not really going to pay attention to getting Argon crystals from enemies. Although you can try, it's very rare in the 3 chances that I did with the Yuko mission. And I did go and I went into these little areas like you're seeing right now in the gameplay, and I did get 3 on my first run, 1 on the second, and 1 on the fourth. So it seemed like I got a guaranteed of 1 Argon crystal as long as I looked just a little bit. I didn't even try my hardest to go throughout the entirety of the map. Sometimes I got lucky and these Argon crystal things were just sitting there in front of me on my way to extraction or on my way to the capture target. So it's just small things you have to look forward to, and if you want to, go into these little rooms, if you want to use your time for that, you can. If you think that's quicker, to me it seemed like it was a lot quicker with all these other ones. Now the next one is going to be Aximoko, and that, I hope I said that right, and that is going to be an exterminate mission on Void, obviously. I showed it right on the screen right now. This one I did 3 runs. This was one of the worst ones. However, the last mission kind of paid off for what I went through with the other 2. Now, the first run through had 0 from the enemies and 0 from all the Argon crystal loot things. That's the same thing for the second run through. However, the third run through, I got 2 from enemies and 3 from the Argon crystal loot boxes. This was a big change because I didn't think I was going to get anything. I thought for sure the data on this would have 0 overall. However, I got 5 in the end. You may think this is going to help this in turns. Maybe I should try the exterminate mission. You can, don't get me wrong, you definitely can. However, I only got 5 and that was the last one. So if you want to try your luck on that, you can. Maybe you get 1 every single time, who knows. Now the last one we're going to look at is going to be Mode on Survival. This is really a go-to for a lot of people. If you ever think of farming, you think of survival missions or defense missions. You never think of capture or exterminate. So this is probably one people already do already. So it's not much explaining with this one. So survival mission, you're more than likely going to enjoy it more than you would a capture or exterminate, depending on how you like this game. I do like, I could level up all my weapons and my frames quicker on this. However, this does take a lot longer than the other ones. Now the one that I've talked about this before because I've had an Argon crystal video up. However, I only typed in that, I never talked in that. There always is a guarantee for Void to show up. Now if you thought I was going to save for a crystal, there's not. You're either going to get a crystal or an Argon cell, maybe nothing. For these 3 run-throughs I had for the Moat Survival on Void, Vor did show up every single time, however he only dropped one crystal, and that was on the first run through. Now on the first run through, I had 0 from the enemies, I had 1 for Vor, and I had 1 for the Argon loot boxes. These all lasted 10 minutes. This is usually the theme I do for a lot of survival missions for my farming videos. So look forward to that, with all of these being 10 minutes long. So I'm not trying to have it so you have to stay for an hour, you have to stay for 30 minutes, stuff like that. That's just way too long. Unless you want to go for that, go ahead. If you have that time and you want to do it, be my guest. But if you want the quicker ones and you just want to do 10 minutes and see how much you get, I'm going to explain what I got in the 3 runs that I did. Now, I just mentioned the first one, I got 1 for Vor and 1 for the Argon loot box. The second one, I got nothing. Big bummer. I thought I was going to get at least 1, not even from Vor. I got an Argon cell. And then my last run through, I got 1 from the enemies and 2 from the Argon loot boxes. Now, with all this data in total, technically there's a tie. There's a tie. All 3 of them at 5 equally. But if we look at this, Capture had a guarantee of 1 every single time. That is, if you look for these things, if you look for the Argon loot boxes. I put the picture up in the thumbnail and the screen. But if you don't look for any of these, who knows if there's a chance to get them? Because I got 0 from the enemies, so there is always a chance you're going to get 0 if you don't look for these in the Capture mission. And then Exterminate, I got nothing until the last run. And that last run got 5 in total, which is why they're all tied for 5. So I don't really know what to say here. I think Capture, if you look for the things, you're going to get 1 every single time. All you have to do is look, and I think there, from what I gathered in the missions I did, there is going to be a 100% chance this thing spawns. You just need to know where it's going to be at. And you need the luck to hope it's in the room that you're in. Now with Exterminate, I don't know what to say about that one. Exterminate is really give or go. You could do a mission. I wouldn't rely to do that on Argon crystals. If you want to do it just to see how it would go, maybe you want to level up things. Exterminate missions are pretty good to level up a weapon. So if you want to do that, go ahead and then hope to get an Argon crystal and look around as you're doing the Exterminate mission. And for the survival mission, if you want to leave at every 5 minutes, because that's usually around the time Vor spawns, every 5 minutes he does. So if you want to do that, you want to just wait for Vor and get a guaranteed 1, hopefully guaranteed 1 every single time. It's like kind of contradicts itself. Hopefully you get 1 Argon crystal from Vor, and if you don't, you could always extract and then try again and do that over and over and over again, like a Capture or Exterminate mission. Now with all these, I'll show the times so you can compare them to yourselves. For me, the benefit that I got was Capture. Capture was obviously the one that got me 1 every single time. I didn't expect it to. Trust me, I did not expect Capture to do it. I expected the survival mission to do it with Vor being there, with a bunch of enemies being there, and the chance for me to go into rooms and not have an objective to do. I thought survival was going to take the crown on this. However, they're all tied and they're all random. And to conclude all of this, the Capture mission had 3 in the loot boxes from the first round, 1 from the loot boxes in the second round, and then 1 in the loot boxes from the third round, totaling up to 5, however averaging around 1. Now the Exterminate mission had 0 from enemies and Argon loot boxes in the first and second round I did. And then the third round had 2 from enemies and 3 from the Argon loot boxes. Take that as you will. And then the survival mission had 1 from Vor and 1 from the Argon loot boxes in the first round, 0 from all 3 in the second round. And then in the third round, I had 1 from the enemies and 2 from the Argon loot boxes. I know I'm saying Argon loot boxes. Trust me, I know it's not called that. Stop. Do not type in the comments. I know. However, with all 3 of these, you have to conclude on yourself with this one. I cannot give a definite answer. As with the data that I have provided to you and the data that I have written down, all concludes in totals up to 5 for each. However, Capture mission has an average on each mission to be more than all 3 of these. Now with that out of the way, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you found it useful. and I hope you found it helpful. I hope this is one of the best ways that you can learn how to farm Argon crystals, and I believe I have put up the information that many people don't when putting these videos out. They just say, here, farm this, farm that, trust me, it works, and then go with it. And they don't really conclude and they don't really put any data out there. Then what I do for all these farming videos, if you don't know, is I go to all these web browsers that say, Warframe farming or Warframe school, and I see what they put down, and I do those missions myself, put the data down, look at other videos, see what they do, and see how they do it as well. So I put my own twists on it, and I try to debunk some of the things that they say to make it better for anybody else who needs to farm for these specific resources in Warframe. Right, and if you enjoyed this video, to the right will be a Warframe playlist of all the farming videos I've done, and if you look at my channel, there will be a playlist of all the Warframe videos I've done on this channel as well. And to the left will be my most recent video, and in the middle will be the subscribe button. Thank you all so much for the support, and with all that said, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.